that's in a bit of a funny position. Let's start here, shall we? So, just getting my apron on. I've been at work today, so I'm not in my pyjamas. So we are doing a roast potato, bacon and crispy kale salad with honey and balsamic glaze. We've had this before, it's really nice. So, welcome back to the HelloFresh Cook With Me. I'm Emma, if you're new here, and this is one series that I'm really enjoying at the moment, where basically I cook with you what my HelloFresh delivery is. So this one is 35 to 40 minutes to get it sorted. It's under 650 calories and it's just really good for you. There's got plenty of veg and stuff in it. So let's get you in the right position and we'll get started. So the first step is the oven. So I'll be using 2 baking trays. So I'm happy to use the oven. So it's an oven set at 200 degrees fan, which is 240 Celsius, 220 fan, sorry, and gas knock 9. So I just need to turn it up a little bit more. So the first step is requiring baking trays. And I'll also need a pan while I'm in here, so I might as well get that out. What I will do as well is I will line my baking trays with some baking parchment or some greaseproof paper. For some reason I keep putting too much baking paper on. So at the moment my kitchen smells lovely because I've just changed my plug-in air fresheners. I have got my washing machine going. So if you can hear that in the background, I do apologise for that. Right then, so while the oven is heating up, I'm going to get these potatoes chopped. And I'm not going to chop them too small because we want some nice bits of potato to dig into. So, in step number 1, we are chopping the potatoes, and it says into 3cm chunks. No need to peel, which is always a good thing because it's one less step than I need. It says pop onto a large baking tray, drizzle with a little oil. I like to use olive oil because it's supposed to be the best oil out there for as far as oils go, which obviously we know that oil isn't actually very healthy, but olive oil is supposedly the best oil that you can use. So yes, where was I? Drizzle with oil, season with salt and pepper, then toss to coat. Spread out in a single layer and use 2 baking trays if you find that necessary. I won't be using 2 baking trays because I'm only doing enough for 2, but if you're doing enough for say 4 or maybe even 3, you might prefer to use 2 baking trays. So that took no time at all. So instead of using a drizzle of oil, what I will use is I'll use my Fry Light spray oil. which is also an olive oil spray. That is salt, which I'm going to keep out, and pepper. Which not only am I going to keep out, but I'm getting it all over the work surface, and I'm actually going to get that fry light out again. And what I'm going to do is, if I can find it, oh I haven't got any. Have I got any in here, I wonder? I haven't got any open, so I'm going to open some garlic granules. That'll just elevate the flavour of those. So I'm going to pop those straight into the oven, even though it's not up to temperature. I'm going to just pop that straight in, and I've got that which needs to come out. When I get back from work, I like to get straight on with the cooking so that we can be done. Let's chop the ends off the carrot. And these carrots are going to be made into batons. So this is part of step number 2. Oh, I didn't finish off step number 1. So step number 1 was, when the oven is hot, roast on the top shelf for 20 minutes. You'll roast them for longer once you've crushed them. So I should probably put the timer on for 20 minutes. There we go. So making the carrots into batons. So, there we go. Step number 2, meanwhile, halve and peel the red onion, chop each half into 4 wedges. So it turns out that I started with the wrong thing, but it doesn't matter because it's all going to go on the same tray. So the bit about the carrot is trim the carrots, which I've already done, so that's taking the tops off. Then halve lengthways, no need to peel, chop into roughly 1 centimetre wide, 5 centimetre long batons. So a baton for a carrot is a long shape. These are going on the roasting tray. And then with the onion, this onion isn't looking happiest, I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to take that more outer layer off, and you can see that, well, I don't know whether you can actually see the lighting, but you might be able to see that there's some damage on the outside, but on this bit it's nice and smooth. So it's obviously better if you don't have any damage on your vegetables. Sometimes you can't help it, sometimes it's just what you've got, and that is okay. And sometimes damage doesn't actually mean that there's anything wrong with it, it just means that it's lived a little bit of a harder life. So, chop each half into 4 wedges. So what I'm going to do is These will all fall apart anyway while they're being cooked. So we want 1 garlic clove as per the recipe, but I'm sure you all know me quite well by now. And to be fair, when HelloFresh sends you a whole garlic bowl, it does make more sense to actually use it rather than letting it go to waste. So taking the root end off and the top off, and then using my knife to peel. This is something that you'd get used to if you're not used to peeling garlic. This is not the best garlic to be peeling because the garlic skin is quite well attached, but you want to get down to the nice white flesh. Come on. Sometimes this does take a while, it's a bit fiddly, which is why I'm going to process a bunch of garlic and freeze it in little balls so that I don't have to peel and grate my garlic every single night, because it does mean that I resort to using garlic granules or dried garlic, which obviously won't have the same health benefits as fresh. So they can all go straight in there and be grated, not grated, crushed. This must be a much fresher garlic than the ones that I've been using this past week or so, because it has crushed quite nicely. You'll have to excuse all my dishes. I just have dishes. That's my best excuse. So pop the carrots and onion onto another baking tray, drizzle with oil and half the honey, season with salt and pepper, and sprinkle over the cumin. So I'm going to use my spray again. I'm going to do the oil of the honey. You know, I used to absolutely hate honey. I really did. And now I really like it because I have learnt to use honey instead of syrup, and you can't really taste the difference. And honey is a lot better for you. It's a natural sweetener. It's better than using sugar, so I will use honey in my hot drinks, especially if I'm not feeling too well. Right then. Salt. Pepper. And the ground cumin. So even though we've had this recipe before, I thought that it would be a really good recipe to show you guys. So I wanted to make sure that I got it again, so that you could see. So going to give these a little bit of a mooch together. These can go in the oven. And then I'll bring you back in 10 minutes when the potatoes are ready to be smashed. So, it is time to take our potatoes out of the oven. Starting to look quite good. And what we're doing now is we are going to crush these potatoes. So I'm not breaking my lid, my jug. I can't remember whether I did this last time. I don't remember it. I think what I'm hearing is the seasoning crushing. So now what I'm going to do, I don't think you can actually see what I'm doing, so I'm going to just move you a tad closer. There we are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to they are all cooked brown, so they can go back in the oven. And then with this one, I'm going to just flip all of this. The good thing about using the baking paper is it means that it is not sticking. So these are going to go back in like so, and they are going to go in for 10 minutes. So it says on step number 4, just move you so that you can see what I'm talking about. Right. I've got a little step here so that I can sit down so that you're not looking directly into the light. I think that lighting's okay. So in step number 4 it says when the potatoes have cooked for 20 minutes, remove them from the oven. Use the bottom of a bowl or pan to lightly crush each potato. So you saw that I hope you saw, I used my spatula, and then on top of the spatula I used a jug with quite a wide base so that I could evenly distribute the pressure. It then says return to the top shelf of your oven until crispy and golden for 10 to 15 minutes. So because my carrots and my onions have already been in for 10 minutes. I'm only I've actually put it onto 12 because the carrots and the onions need 20 to 25 minutes. What I've done is I've turned those halfway through, so I've put those in for another 12 minutes, and then it says in step number 4, when ready, remove the carrot and onion tray from the oven, lay the kale on top and drizzle with a bit more oil. Return the tray to the oven and bake until the kale is crispy, which is about 4 to 6 minutes. So I've got the kale here ready, and that has lasted quite well. I'm quite pleased with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the ingredients. I'm also going to go through the nutritional values. So this is the first time that I've done this. So let me know if you like it. If you don't, then let me know and I will stop doing it. So the ingredients for this is 450 grams of potatoes, 1 red onion, 2 carrots, or an equivalent to 2 good sized carrots, 1 garlic clove, but as you know, I like to raise the garlic, honey, which I did accidentally put all of the honey on the carrots and the onions, so it's a good job that we like honey, because I've got some here that I will be using with my bacon in step number 5. So then it is 1 sachet of ground cumin. The thing with ground herbs and spices is you can kind of put as much as you want on. So I'm quite happy to drizzle it on or shake it on and use it all, but if I didn't think there was enough in there, like if I'm doing pasta sauce and I think that wasn't enough herbs, I can sprinkle my own on, which I'm quite happy to do. It then says 100 grams of chopped kale, or 1 packet is fine. It says 90 grams of bacon lardons, and it's literally just a small packet of bacon. So you know, if you've got your own bacon, just use as much as you want. Obviously keeping in the fact that bacon is not the best for you. And 12 ml of balsamic glaze. So the balsamic glaze comes in a little sachet like this. So it'd probably be, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon or 2. If you feel like you're buzzing, then it is my washing machine, because it's on its spin cycle. It's got 6 minutes left. So the nutritional values per serving, and this is for the uncooked ingredients. We are 1,872 kilojoules with 447 kcals, which is your calories. So this is even with the bacon and the honey, it's quite a low calorie, healthy meal. So if you wanted to add other vegetables, that would be great. You'd be really doing yourself a favour. In fact, I could actually put some broccoli in. I've got some broccoli. We'll see. I might do it, I might not. It's then got 11.3 grams of fat, which is 3.3 grams of saturated fats. It has got 75.2 grams of carbohydrates, of which 28.7 is sugar. There is 15.8 grams of protein and 1.44 grams of salt. The only allergen in here is sulfites. I think you can be allergic to honey, although people are becoming allergic to lots of things that aren't classed as allergens. So if there's things that you like or don't like, or can eat or can't eat, you can substitute wherever you feel necessary, and it's kind of just an experiment. That is what I like about cooking and baking. You are experimenting with flavours and things that you know that you like, and quantities. And like me with my sourdough, I made a sourdough loaf for the first time ever yesterday, and that was with my very first starter that I started the day before. But there was so much starter that I had to use it up, and the loaf was starting to brown quite a lot on the top, so I took it out. I thought, I don't want this burning at all. and it was still quite doughy inside. Now I think that's either because the oven was too hot, or it's because my sourdough starter wasn't quite where it should be, even though the dough rose beautifully and I did everything that the recipe told me to. So it's just a big experiment and it's just really exciting, and that is what I love about these. I can add things if I want to, or you know, if like the curry that we've got later on the week, I think it's butternut squash curry, I will quite possibly add some chicken to it because we like chicken in our curries. I've got chicken in the freezer, so I can get that out and I can add that in. What else have we got this week? So we've got prawns, we've got a chicken, we've got beef rigatoni, and we have got the Thai green style butternut squash curry. So what I could do is I could get some more beef out of the freezer. I could do 2 different types of pastas. I could get different, some more tomato puree, and what I could do is I could make a double batch because it is that easy. There are some things where you wouldn't be able to do that with. Oh, it's the kiwi. I was wondering what that was. So yeah, it's all about experimenting. I've got my bowls and my cutlery out ready, and I think it's time to get the kale into the oven. So I'm going to avoid the heat. I'm going to get the carrots and the onions out of the oven. I'm going to open the kale. I'm just going to tip that straight on the top. Like so, and we're going to, I think I'll use proper oil. I'm going to drizzle some oil over the top. I am going to add some salt as well. There we go. So let's get that back into the oven. So it's just like that on the top. And that just goes straight in. And there's 3 minutes left, so I'll just leave it for an extra minute. And then it's time to get started on the bacon. So I'm going to unplug my charger. That is the washing machine finished. So, this one. And this requires a little drizzle of oil. I'm not going to add too much because obviously the bacon will have fat on it. Is I can actually use this turner to get the bacon going. It's a smoked bacon that smells really nice. So In step number 5, it says heat a drizzle with oil in a medium frying pan on a medium to high heat. When it's hot, add the bacon and stir fry until golden for 4 to 5 minutes. Add the garlic, cook for 1 minute more, then remove from the heat. Stir through the balsamic glaze and the remaining honey. And then step number 6 is, when ready, toss together the smashed potatoes, roasted veg, lardons and sticky pan juices on your largest baking tray. Share the roasted salad between your bowls. So it's quite an easy too fussed about having really crispy bacon. And just cook it until it's cooked. So that is the oven burn, so I'll just leave that in there to keep warm until finished cooking. I'll turn the heat up so that it can just keep warm. Right, I'm going to get the garlic in. Here it's sizzling nicely, you can start to smell the garlic. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of pepper. I haven't got it on a really high heat, it's just at the top of a low heat. So don't want to burn the garlic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off, turn the heat off. I'm going to scrape that all into the middle. I'm going to add my balsamic. Like that. And just a squeeze of honey. It's probably a little bit too much, but it doesn't really matter. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my bits out of the oven. Just let the heat escape. Those are the potatoes. It is very hot in here, so I'm going to get the window open because my window's a little steamed up. Right. So, don't know how much you'll be able to see. Hopefully it'll be enough. So, what I'm going to do is make sure all the potatoes come off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm not going to heat my bowls because everything's really hot, so it doesn't really need to be in heated bowls. So I'm just going to turn you around so that you can see. So thank you so much for watching. We're going to dig into this, and I can guarantee that it's going to be gorgeous because it smells incredible and it looks really good. So I'm going to get some pictures, and I will hopefully see you next time. So thank you for watching, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.